Hey guys, what's going on? It's been a couple of weeks since I've been feeling well enough, I guess, to do a blog because I had my second round of chemo, and if you follow my social, like Facebook or Instagram, you'll know that I had another reaction, like a fever reaction to the chemo. So it sort of knocked me about for quite a few days. I was in hospital again for 2 or 3 days. But everything seems to be good now. They checked me out for infections and all that sort of stuff, and I had nothing. So what they're thinking is going on is that I've just got this reaction to one of the chemo drugs, which kind of stuffs with me a bit, gives me a bit of a fever. But I'm feeling a lot better now. I actually started this blog the other day on the weekend when Courtney and I were driving around. Just because obviously I've got my new look I need to show off because my hair's falling out. Head hair started falling out, so I shaved it off. My beard hair's falling out a bit, and luckily enough, seems as if I might keep my eyebrows because they haven't been falling out at all. It's only been the head and the beard and a couple of private places which you don't need to see. Interesting thing happened. Like I said, we started filming the blog the other day and we went down to the park to have our coffee like we usually do. It's a bit of a ritual for us when Courtney's not working, so to get out of the house, get a nice view by the river, and we stumbled across a man that we thought was passed out drunk. So we did a little bit of filming because we thought it was quite funny. We've since sort of come to realise that man might have actually been passed away, because I went down back to the park, called the ambulance and everything, because he looked passed out, but then again he was a little bit lacking in colour, so we thought maybe he's not just passed out. And anyway, fire and rescue came, and then the ambulance came. I dropped Courtney at work and went back to have a bit of a sticky beak, and by the looks of what I saw, I think the man had passed away. So out of respect for him, I'm not going to show any of that footage that I took, because originally we thought we was passed out and we didn't mean any disrespect at all, but turns out later he might have maybe just been on the other side of life. So I'll show bits of it, not him, but just us in that discovery process is a bit funny. Morning. Sunday, I dropped Courtney to work.
What are you saying?
Talking to them.
What did you say? Your problem?
Oh, because I banged the door.
Yeah.
So it's your fault.
How's it my fault?
Because you parked so close to the wall.
You parked the car, not me.
You parked the car. You're the one that went out and banged the door last night.
The camera's going to fall down and smash and break.
Oh. No, it's not.
Alright. Sonny's at work.
There you go. Let's get rid of you for 8 hours.
Sorry?
Huh?
What for?
Nothing. It's a bit rickety.
Go on, have a chat.
Well, as you can see, I'm bald now.
Thanks to me.
Thanks to you. I decided to go the hat route, wear hats, not beanies, I think, because
Right here.
bald, I've got a beard, I've got the hat.
Go on, you can make that.
I'm going. I look kind of like Walter White. I think I'm going to start selling crack. It's a similar story. Cancer, you want to make money for your family. So
We do crack.
we don't do crack. They don't do crack. He was a chemistry teacher. So I start selling crack and start calling myself Walter White. What do you reckon? I seem to be, luckily enough, keeping my eyebrows at the moment. They're pretty solid. And I've heard that a lot of people do keep their eyebrows. Fingers crossed. Do you reckon someone's called the cops, but?
I don't know, what's this person doing over here? Just don't give a shit. Surely you'd be able to see his chest rising. This is just breathing extremely shallow.
Well, when you pass when you used to drink and you pass out, I would put my ear up to your mouth to make sure you were alive.
It doesn't even look like he's drunk that much wine though.
Should we call the cops, you reckon? Maybe we should call the cops.
Why?
Well, because they'll come and check if he's alive.
What are you going to say? Oh, hey, there's a guy either dead or alive. I don't know, it was really weird. He was like, what, taking a gasp or something?
So he's alive.
Yeah, he must be. Just give him an umbrella or something. What's this guy just pretending like it's not even happened?
Thank you for contacting the Queensland Police. If you are phoning to report a crime happening now, or you are in any danger, please hang up and call 000. To speak with an officer at this station, please hold the line. If you would like to report a non-urgent incident, please contact PoliceLink directly on 131 444.
Sutton Park Police, Tom Hogan speaking.
G'day mate. Sorry, I thought I was ringing the Morningside station. Maybe they're shut.
Yeah, that might be, mate. I think it just diverts through to us if no one's there.
Oh, okay, no worries. I was just ringing up just because I'm down at a local park at Balimba and there's a dude that's like passed out here in the middle of the park and I'm not sure if he's alive or passed out really drunk and not really moving.
Yeah, right, okay.
So...
we'll get... Is it worth calling the ambulance, mate, or you reckon we just need to go have a look?
Yeah, maybe you need to come have a look, I guess. I mean, it could just be really drunk.
Is he moving around, mate?
No.
He has not moved since we've sat here looking at him.
What's he, is he homeless, you reckon, or...?
Nah, he's dressed well. He's in like a Hawks footy outfit, so maybe they lost yesterday and he had a big night, but...
Quite possibly. Mate, look, do you reckon it's worthy us coming lights and sirens, or are you happy for us to just cruise there?
Nah, just cruise there. Queensland Fire and Rescue
Like,
rocked up to the park to have their coffee, so they might go give him a kick, maybe.
Yeah, it might be worth doing that. Look, I'll put a job on. What's the address there, mate?
Do you know what this road's called?
I think they're calling it in.
Yeah, I think they're calling it in, mate, by the look of it. They're going over.
Right.
They're going over to check on him.
Are they?
Yeah. They always come down here for a coffee, so they're going to go check if he's... Yeah. Alright,
So
sorry.
they're walking over.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. Mate, if you still need us, ring 000, eh?
Yeah, okay, cool.
Alright, mate. Bye.
Alright, see ya.
Uh-oh, he doesn't look live.
Uh-oh.
I don't think he's alive.
So I'm trying to be a little bit more inconspicuous about this because
Pretty sure he's dead.
I'm pretty sure that guy's actually dead. We've
That's
had
fucked.
2 fire and rescue. There's like a fire station up the road, and every like now and again, if you come down here for a coffee, the fire guys will be down here drinking their coffee by the water, and they just rocked up as we were sitting here, and someone alerted them to the passed out guy by the river. So one of them went over and checked and moved him, and
Doesn't look good.
he turned around and looked at the other guy and was basically like, did a bit of these ones, and since he moved him, he doesn't look very alive.
No, doesn't even move.
And they're like,
It looks like
they're radioing in ambulances and all sorts
It
of
looks
stuff.
like
so
a dead weight.
coming over to check him again.
You've never really seen a dead person on the ground.
He did look very dead when we got here.
Yeah, that way his head was angled didn't look right, and the fact that his mouth was open, staring straight into the sun, I thought that was a bit weird. I wonder how many people have just walked past him.
Yeah.
He's out, mate. He's gone.
goner. Shit. He's not dead. We spoke to the fire and rescue guys and they're like, no, we went up, he's snoring but not breathing very well. So they called the ambulance and they're going to go get the guy that we thought was dead. Courtney took the video off her social media of the dude because she thought he was actually dead.
I can put that back up now.
Oh no.
Not dead.
It was pretty funny. The fire, said that, because he had a bottle of wine right beside him, and he said he was lying on top of a McDonald's bag full of food, and he had his car keys in his other hand. So he said he got here somehow, and he got Macca's somehow, and then he just passed out by the river. But he's passed out in the sun, like direct sunlight. It's like 32 degrees already, and he would have been passed out getting smashed by mozzies and midgies all night.
Yeah, that's fun.
He's not going to feel good today.
No.
The ambos are coming to get him.
So now, in sort of retrospect, we felt really bad about the whole process because we thought it was just a passed out drunk guy and maybe didn't seem that way after the ambulance came. How have I been feeling after 2 rounds of chemo? I'm not too bad. Like, you know, I seem to have 4 or 5 bad days where I get quite sick because I have people ask me, and I know I asked people before the process started. It's really hard to describe to people how you feel. There's certain key things that are pretty consistent, like you get a real bad taste in your mouth. It's almost like you've got like old metal coins in your mouth all the time. You get really bad reflux, which makes you feel a bit average. You get real bad nausea, obviously. I haven't been sick yet at all, like as far as throwing up and diarrhea, which is sometimes a pretty consistent symptom. Apart from that, I've had a lot of people, both doctors-wise and a naturopath and things, say that I'm looking pretty good for somebody that's going through the chemo process. So my body seems to be handling it well. How well it's working, we don't know yet. We've got another 2 rounds to go and get another scan, and then we'll know a bit more about how my body's dealing with it. But I mean, other than that, you know, I have 4 or 5 bad days, like I said, where I basically don't move from this location just here. And when I start to feel a bit better, I sort of perp up a bit and I go out every day and I do as much as I can, try and avoid crowded places and things like that. This week I was able to go to a concert. I probably shouldn't have done that, and I went for a follow-up at the hospital before I went, and I got my blood counts checked, and I wasn't so low or anything, so I took the risk, went to a Tash Sultana concert. Glad I did, because it was really good. It was a brave thing to do. I had to wear my face mask. I'll show you. Look at this cool face mask, because, you know, I didn't want to look like I was fresh out of the hospital. I had the bird flu, so I got something that was a little bit more funky. I think it's a little bit more stylish, like, you know, maybe people think I'm like Bane or something rather than a real sick person. Not really, but that's what I wore at the concert. We ended up having to leave the concert early because it was like 39 degrees, not 39 degrees, it was like 30 degrees and like 90% humidity. So I just stood there in this crowd and just sweating and sweating and sweating. And when you have that mask on, man, it was just so hot. And I just said to Courtney, look, I've got to go. I don't want to push my luck and how I'm feeling. And she was fine with that. So we left. And we came home and it was fine. Didn't get sick or a fever or anything like that from anyone, so it was a plus. So I seem to be dealing pretty well with that whole process. One of the worst parts about the last cycle that I just went through was I became neutropenic. And if you know what that means, it means that your white blood cell count gets really low, like dangerously low. And it leaves me really kind of susceptible to getting infections and things like that, like getting colds real easy or some type of stomach bug really easy, and then I'll basically get a fever and end up in hospital on antibiotics. That hasn't happened yet, touch wood, thank God. My blood cell count was really low when I went in for the second chemo, so what they did was they gave me this thing called a peg shot. So basically they just give you this needle, I think it's called a neuroplast or something, and they go stick it right in your belly, which sucks. if I have to get it this week as well, I have to do it myself at home. I have to jab myself with a needle in the gut. The needle wasn't that painful. But what happened was they said, look, you might experience a bit of pain because what the needle actually does is it stimulates your bone marrow to basically let out the blood cells that you need to bring you back up to a normal level. I was like, okay, fair enough. But they really did not prepare me for the amount of pain that I would be in. They said what happened was because I'm younger, you know, I'm like in my early 30s, I've got healthier bone marrow, so my bone marrow might have stimulated really quickly and released a lot of cells. And what happens when your bone marrow expands is it is the most painful fucking thing you'll ever go through in your life. So the other night I ended up in here on the floor, ended up having to take 2 like oxycodone tablets, 2 opioid tablets, real strong ones, 4 doses of a alleged CBD oil that I may or may not be taking allegedly because it's illegal here. So let's just say I did maybe take 4 doses, and also a couple of Panadol. I'm not into the traditional painkiller side of it, but I ended up having all that stuff, and I was still on a ball in the floor in an immense amount of pain and this close to going into the hospital. And when I went for a checkup, they said, oh yeah, it gets pretty painful. A lot of people end up in the hospital on a morphine drip once the needle kicks in. It's like, that information would have been a lot more useful rather than me at home freaking out on the floor in a ball in that much pain. But it only lasted for like, you know, maybe a day. I say a day. It was a lot to go through in a day, but you know, that was a sign that my blood cell count was picking back up. So that's a good thing. Then it leaves me less susceptible to getting an infection or something. Where do we go from here? Tomorrow is my 3rd round, so I'm going for round 3 tomorrow. So I'm in for another few shitty days. If I have a fever reaction again, they said they're probably just going to send me home with some drugs to try and control the fever. There shouldn't be a need for me to stay in hospital this time, especially if I'm not neutropenic, which means that your blood cell count's real low. So they said if my blood cell count's up and I get a fever reaction, they're probably just going to dose me up with a couple of things and send me home, which would be good because it's kind of hard having to be up in the hospital for 2-3 nights, and Courtney's sitting at home by herself pregnant. She gets really upset, and then, you know, makes me sort of a bit upset having to sit at the without her, because obviously I want to be, for as crap as I feel, I want to be there for her as much as I can while she's pregnant, because she needs help too. So we kind of team up and sort of help each other. So round 3 tomorrow, you know, maybe if I'm feeling up to it, I'll switch the camera on when I'm having a real shit day to give you guys an idea of what it's like. Not for it to be like a negative or sad thing or anything like that, but it's just like, you know, people that really want to know, because, you know, I try to reach out and really figure out what the chemo was going to be like before I started, because it's quite an anxious and fearful thing that you got to go through, and not knowing what to expect at all. So I try and help out people as much as I can through the process, see what it's like, and everybody's different. So you know, this just is what I experience, and hopefully, you know, people get minimal side effects. Yeah, there's many factors that go into why you get some types of diseases like cancer. You know, it's your food's a factor, your stress is a factor, and they're two. You know, food's something I always try and stay on top of. The stress is something I'm getting on top of with the hypnosis, just those underlying things. So I've got a lot of different exercises I do for that, which is helping me a lot. Is just keeping a baseline of calm all the time, and it doesn't let in much room for anxiety and stress. So yeah, for the most part, I feel pretty good. Other than on the days that I feel real shit after the chemo, it's really hard to stay in a good headspace. But that's pretty normal. Even if you have like a flu or something, it's really hard to stay in a good headspace. You feel like crap within yourself, so it's hard to sort of stay in a good mindset in those situations. So on those days, the best advice I have is it is okay to not be okay. And it's really hard because you have family checking in on you all the time, making sure you're okay. They're worried about you, they're worried about how you feel. And on those days you really feel like crap, you just want to be left alone. Like, I just like to sit there on the couch, try not to spew, eat when I can, drink as much water as I can, just do a lot of breathing exercises, because, you know, it's a day at a time, but I'm still alive. So I'm there alive, I'm able to breathe, I'm able to feel sick, and that's a lot more than what a lot of other chances people get at their lifetime. So I just feel if I just get through those few shitty days, it's just a day at a time. And you just sort of want to say to your family, look, I'm not okay, but I just want to be not okay for a few days. Like, no matter what you do and say, it's not going to make me feel any better, because it's a process your body has to go through. So I'm just going to be there, and I'm just going to be not okay. And it's okay to feel that way, because that's when you get periods of growth. When you don't feel good, you get periods of growth in your life. It's just another bad hurdle that you've had to go through, and you always learn something from every single bad experience. And, you know, even if it's a 3-4 day stint of feeling shit from chemo, you'll learn something from that. And, you know, I always come out a little bit brighter each week and how I feel, because the days I do feel good, I'm like, wow, I feel amazing compared to what I felt like a week ago. And I feel privileged for the fact that I can even say that I feel amazing. So it's good to go through that process. What I was going to show you, I finally got our water quality sorted out. I was going to say another factor to your health is the environmental. So this is a water filter I got installed, and I had a guy from Matt at Vive Nutrition, which is like Go Vita store here in Hawthorne near where I live. He's an absolute legend. He owns the store, he's a co-owner of the store. He used to work for these guys who I bought this off, and I couldn't fit it myself last week. They didn't give us the right fittings or anything, so I couldn't fit it to that tap, and I had to go to Bunnings. Bunnings didn't have any of the fittings that I needed to fit the tap or anything like that. And you know, Matt, who owns the health food store, he used to be a plumber. I used to be in the plumbing industry as well, but I just couldn't find a thing for the life of me. So then I had to figure out I had to shut off the water to our entire apartment complex and try and fit that thing, and it's just something I couldn't do myself. And when we went into the health food store the other day and we were telling Matt, the owner, about it, he said, look, I used to be a plumber, I used to work for that company, here's my number, I'll come around and help you fit it. So he came around 2 days ago and helped me fit that on his own time when he had a day off from the health food store. So thanks, Matt, absolute legend. If you live around this area, Vive Nutrition, like, great organic store to go to, and the people there are super friendly. So now that's the water quality sorted. I have the air purifier in the bedroom. Pretty sure I've showed you that before, but I'll just show you anyway. This is where we sleep. Obviously we have all the plants and stuff, and then we have this, the best star rated air purifier you can get on the market. It's called a Winix 9800 or something, I don't know. But it picks up odours and dusts, and it filters the air, so you're sleeping in good air quality. And I believe those things are very important. Just take those stresses away from your body, so you're not drinking shit water, you're not breathing shit air, and everything contributes, I guess. So that's where I'm at, round 3 this week. And sorry I couldn't be more consistent with the videos to update people that have been following, but you know, I'm in a stage where I'm like, you know what, if I don't feel good, I'm not going to do it, because, you know, how I feel is a bit more important to me, and I hope people can understand that. And we'll see you next week, and, you know, hopefully round 3 isn't too bad. And thanks everybody that likes, subscribes and comments. It's absolutely legendary. As always, I'm going to chuck up PayPal details and GoFundMe page, and anyone that wants to support us through this process would be absolutely magnificent, but not at all expected. Even just words of encouragement are enough fuel for me, I guess, sort of to get through this journey. And I think I'm going to try, when I get the time and I feel well enough, I'll run through some of the hypnosis stuff that I do to get my mind right and get my mind calm. And I'll also do something about what supplements I've sort of been messing around with in around the chemo, because we've been adjusting those in different facets because of what the pharmacists say I can't take, and what the oncologists say I can and can't take, and what the naturopath says I should take and shouldn't take. And we've just nailed it down to a few things. I've never been a real big supplement person anyway, but there's a few things my body and my gut feeling says that I need to have, so I'll run you through those things. Hodgkin's lymphoma is a real tricky one, being a blood cancer and the way that it mutates your DNA. So there's certain nutrients you think, wow, this might be good for me, but in actual fact you might be actually doubling the growth of your cancer cells. So it's a fine medium, but I'll get there. And for now I'm just going to try and stay hungry and stay fat as possible and keep as much of my hair as I can. Thanks for watching, guys.